Hi guys, a theory here. Ever since Help 1 and 2's release, I've wanted to put my theory about Cassie's dad to the test, to see if I was right. In case you haven't seen that video, I said that Jeremy from Help 1 and 1 is Cassie's dad. Some people enjoyed my theory despite how insane it sounded, because besides saying Help 1 and 1 Jeremy was her father, I also said that Fnaf 2 Jeremy was her grandfather. When I started the theory, it was a good while before Game Theory posted theirs, but procrastination got the better of me, and it took me much longer than necessary to complete it. Also, I didn't really mention this in the last video, but wow. I didn't think my first video would get much traction, but just, jeez. I am truly grateful for this. Anyways, what surprised me the most was a rather large Fnaf theorist also concluded that Help 1 and 1's Jeremy was Cassie's dad. In ID's Fantasies video about Help 1 and 2, she also says that Cassie's dad is Help 1 and 1's Jeremy. To add even more fuel to the fire, Rye Toast, despite thinking that Bonnie Bully is Cassie's dad, said that Bonnie Bully ends up being Fnaf 2's Jeremy, who I said was Cassie's grandfather. Although I didn't predict the future by any means, my talking about two mostly forgotten characters who are then talked about by bigger theorists is kinda crazy. And recently, Demuted also came to the conclusion that Help 1 and 1's Jeremy was Cassie's dad. Just kind of crazy to me that I more or less came to this conclusion before a lot of other big theorists have. To better explain this video's purpose, it's to flesh out the entirety of my theory and see how the new evidence alters it. To begin, Bonnie Bully has been the most common candidate when it comes to Cassie's dad, and it pains me every time someone says it, mainly because they are too old. Michael and Bonnie Bully are likely the same age. In the first video, I gave a rough guesstimation of Michael's age, with the bite being around 1983, Help 1 and 2 threw a bunch of wrenches into the order of death, so it's not certain anymore. Michael was roughly 16 to 18. Security Breach takes place around 2035 to 2038, because it's written on this photo in the Monty Gulf security office. This would make Michael, as well as Bonnie Bully, anywhere from 68 to 73, which just seems too old to have a roughly 12-year-old daughter. For perspective, my dad is 52, my brother is 24, and my nephew, who is his son, is 1. So by the time my nephew gets the same age as Cassie, his grandfather would be the same age as Cassie's dad. And it's for this reason that it makes no sense for it to be Bonnie Bully. The second piece of evidence used to support the Bonnie Bully theory was the Bonnie mask unlocked in Help 1 and 2. This one seems the most damning, but there are a few ways to explain this off, as well as some theories that could also help explain this. There's the one I created and the one ID's Fantasy created. I'll explain hers first because hers is a lot more grounded in what we know, while mine is crazier in a lot of ways. But first off, I want to explain why it may not be the same mask Bonnie Bully wears. To start, the mask Michael wears during the bite is the torn off head of a Foxy plush. Although it's not explicitly stated, it would seem that the others are wearing torn off heads as well. Now, I get it, that's not amazing evidence, but there's more. The mask in Help 1 and 2 is a bluish purple Bonnie mask resembling Fnaf 1's Bonnie, with the teeth being lined up in the middle of the mouth. Bonnie Bully's mask is blue and is likely made before Purple Bonnie came into existence, as well as the teeth are at the bottom rather than the middle. These many differences, as well as the super high age, is what made me not really think this as true. ID's Fantasy, although not using the differences in the mask, also came to a similar conclusion, using aspects from Help 1 and 2. The reasons were, A, Candy Cadet's story, B, he was the one to first encounter Glitchtrap, and C, the mask being stuck on Cassie could also mean the mask got stuck on Jeremy, and he used the guillotine cutter on himself, and that's why he supposedly cut off his face. And also the Halloween mask on the floor could also be the Vanny mask or a different mask. I'm not certain. This is a very dumbed down version, so go check out her video about Help 1 and 2 to get a better idea. Now, I want you to take everything I just told you, every little bit of detail, and throw it out the window. Because I'm about to explain how Bonnie Bully, Jeremy Fitzgerald, and Help 1 and 1's Jeremy are connected. Before I begin on this story of Jeremy's, I want to clarify that all of this is speculative, and the only thing I'm really confident in is that Help 1 and 1's Jeremy is Cassie's dad. Let's start with Bonnie Bully and Jeremy Fitzgerald. I believe that there is a good possibility that Fnaf 2's Jeremy Fitzgerald is the father of Help 1 and 1's Jeremy. I also assume that Jeremy Fitzgerald and Bonnie Bully are the same person. The ages would line up pretty well if we apply this idea. If Bonnie Bully / Jeremy Fitzgerald had Jeremy from Help 1 and 1 right before dying, he would have been at most 22 and at least 18. We'll be generous to ourselves and say 22. Then, Help 1 and 1's Jeremy would be 36 by the time Cassie would be born. Obviously not the greatest, but way better than saying Cassie's dad is like 70. Now, the main reason for connecting all these Jeremys in the first place is because of a joke I made in the first video.
The Curse of Jeremy.
This
Curse
is the idea that if your name is Jeremy in the Fnaf universe, you're like Nat 1 and D&D It's like how the Aftons are cursed in a sense. Every Jeremy in the series has had cranial damage. Dead Child Jeremy, who went on to possess Bonnie, had his face cut off in Withered Bonnie. Jeremy Fitzgerald got his head chomped in the Bite of 87, and Help 1-1's Jeremy supposedly cut off his face. And then I argued Roxy was the sacrificial stand-in for Cassie because, well, you know.
Give me back my eyes!
Enough about the
Curse of Jeremy.
And more about the actual Jeremys. Under the unlikely circumstance that the mask in Help 1 and 2 is Jeremy Fitzgerald's, then that doesn't completely mean we play as Jeremy Fitzgerald. If Jeremy Fitzgerald is Help 1-1's Jeremy's dad, then there is a chance that Jeremy Jr. had seen that mask. That's why the mask is familiar and not, oh sh**. This is the mask I wore when I helped kill my friend's younger brother. Why do you keep the mask? Guilt. A reminder of mistakes. A memento that encourages him to make Fazbear's safer, so the same mistakes don't happen again. The same mistakes that he had made. Candy Cadet's story almost perfectly describes Help 1-1's Jeremy's journey, even without his father being Jeremy Fitzgerald. First, he has a run-in with Glitchtrap, the evil witch, only narrowly escaping death. Then he goes back for revenge in Help 1 and 2, only to be tricked. What's confusing is who the little boy is supposed to be. Some options that I came up with were Vanessa, Gregory, and even Tape Girl, if my last theory was correct. My best guess is Helpy, because it seems like it's Glitchtrap's new icon, or poster child type thing. I think Glitchtrap realized that everyone knows about the yellow rabbit, how evil the green and purple have been, so it's gotta switch it up a little to fool everyone. So this is why the little boy in the story leads them to their death. It's also the witch. It's also Glitchtrap. And that's why everyone asks us,
What makes you so special?
we escaped Glitchtrap. We survived. We are the only known survivor of him, only to be blinded by hubris and fall right back into his trap. Feel free to drop your thoughts and feelings about this theory in the comments below. I'll look over them and see how I can improve in the next video. And I know I'm not to the point in YouTube where my thoughts really matter, but with MatPat retiring from game theory in March and how he's changed my life for the better, I think it's appropriate to end this video with a, but hey, that's just a theory. A game theory. Thank you, MatPat.